Life in the Philippines. So I'm going to talk about some things that happened recently. In this case, we're going to be talking about kids, and it's a reflection of who they are as adults. And again, I don't like to say bad things about people. I don't like to talk down to the Philippines, but you have to know because you're coming here looking for a wife, you want someone who's a good person, you're not going to find it in the Philippines. So they are gold diggers, and the kids beg for money, etc. So I'm going to tell you something that you've probably never heard before. I was going to my motorcycle. Six girls ran by, looked like they were 10 years old. They got their school uniforms on, and they ran by, and one of them said hello. And I said hello, and then another one says hello to me. And there were six of them. Two of them kept on running, and they got far enough away that I couldn't really have a conversation with them. You could just shout hello at them. So then one of them says, "Do you have money?" No, she says, "Give me money." She says, "Give." She turns and looks at me and says, "Give me money." She yelled it really loud. They're behind the fence, and so I only see like the top of their heads. She says, "Give me money," and I say, "Okay." She's far away, and I happen to be nearsighted, which means I only see up to the computer. After that, it's blurry. She says, "Give me money." I say, "Okay," just because I want to see how they're going to react. I don't remember if they said, "Do you have money?" or "Give me money." I don't remember the order. I think she said, "Give me money," and then maybe she said it again, and then one of them said, "Do you have money?" and I said, "Yes." Usually, if I'm having a conversation and the kid says, "Do you have money?" I said, "Yeah, I have lots of money." "Can you buy me a phone?" I tell them I could buy you 1,000 phones. So they said that, and then I'm thinking these kids are gold diggers, 10 years old, and then they just ran off. And I think the reason why is because there was a fence. I was in the parking area. They would have to go back in the opposite direction, walk around, or whatever. And they just kept on running. I didn't give them any money, of course. So another day, I told this story a long time ago. I was on a bridge and I heard somebody say, "Hey, daddy," or something like that. And I'm looking around and I was like, all I see are a bunch of kids. And again, I'm nearsighted. As I got closer, I was like, that's like a 12-year-old girl. There were like three kids or something like that. And I probably just kept on walking. I don't remember talking to them. So about a week ago, I was sitting in the park. These three teen girls walk by. I would say around 15 years old, and they got maybe school uniforms on. And then there were two boys behind them. And I was really tired, so I was just kind of looking down at the ground. And they were walking in front of me, just kind of ignoring them, looking down at the ground. Because the heat gets so hot that breathing it in is like, I don't like enjoy breathing it in. But it's worse to be in my place where I live. There's no air conditioning. I spray water on myself to cool down. So these three girls walk by, and I'm just like looking down at the ground. And then I hear a boy say, "Where's my daddy?" I was like, that's a weird question to ask. Is he asking these girls? He says, "Where's my daddy?" And then he walked past me. And then he says, "Papa Sugar. Where's my Papa Sugar?" And he kept on walking. He was saying that for me to hear. And this was like a 15-year-old boy. That's the way it is in the Philippines. You never get, "Hello, how are you? Welcome to our country. Welcome to the Philippines. How do you like living?" You never get that kind of conversation. It's always, "Give me money." I was at a chicken place called Crispy King. It's popular. And there were these two boys, let's say 12 or 13. They were kind of watching me. Nobody else was there. Usually, if there's some boys hanging around, if there's some kids hanging around, the parents are usually nearby somewhere. But all I saw was like the chicken employees. And I finished eating. And I think they were asking me for money or asking me for food. I don't remember. I probably got up and got a bottle of water because I stayed a little bit longer. They ran to my table and they looked at my food and they're staring at my food and touching it. And I was like, oh, maybe they want to eat if I missed something. I don't miss anything with the fried chicken. And then I saw them run to dump the food in the trash and they started washing the dishes. And the woman was looking at them and maybe the woman gave them a coin. And I'm thinking, that's either the mother. Why would they be paying these kids to wash the dishes? There's no customers, they can wash them themselves. I think that's probably one of the parents. So the kids are often begging for money. Usually they say they want food, and I see them run in, they buy candy. And the parents are usually nearby. You could be out at 2 a.m. and there'll be kids begging you for money because the parents at 2 a.m. they go to a popular place like 7-Eleven, which is 24 hours. They sell food like boiled eggs. They got to bring their kids with them. It's weird, and I know after a while these kids they recognize me. To me, every time I go, I don't know who these kids are, but I realize after a while, oh, it's the same kids every time I come because they start to say things that they know about me. Like they might call you chicken nugget guy if you buy chicken nuggets all the time or whatever. So I would see them if somebody gives them money. You give money to those kids will take that money and give it to the parents. Or they'll run in and buy candy. There was a day when the like 10 kids surrounded me asking me for money and I was in a really good mood and I put my hand in my pocket. As soon as I took my hand out of my pocket, they were all grabbing onto my hand. So I couldn't even open my hand and I had to go like this to get them to let go. And I opened my hand and all the coins fell on the ground. They picked up all the coins. I give food away a lot. I've given away probably hundreds of times because when I do the low carb diet, I don't eat French fries. I don't even eat the bread on the burger. I save the bread and give it to the homeless people. I've given food to kids and they run and give it to their parents. And their parents are usually selling like avocados or something. So the kids are raised to beg for money. I don't give them money anymore because I don't want them to beg for money. In Colombia, the kids would stand in front of the cars and they would juggle or do acrobatics. And my friend would give them toys instead of money. We were always giving them lots of food, again, like French fries or a slice of pizza that we didn't eat. In Peru, there would be like 30 kids, a mob of kids with a couple parents, and they would go around selling pencils and begging for money. And if you buy a pencil, 30 kids rush you trying to sell you a pencil. And my favorite one, uh, woman, I don't remember her name. She was a Russian woman. I've spoken about her before. She bought all the pencils, and a kid ran up and said $100. He wanted to sell his pencil for $100. That was really funny. That happened in Indonesia, actually. So the kids are taught to be gold diggers. They're taught that foreigners are supposed to give them money. That's why they do it as adults. They're raised to do this. I don't like it. Okay, so that's what I'm going to say for this video. If you have any questions or comments, please post below.